Salvite. I know you guys have missed my voice, but here we are. If you use this more with the upper levels, but I'm going to use this real quick to go over this brief assignment that you guys did, which covers both the things that we're covering, the passive paraphrastic and the ablative absolute. I'm talking quietly because my kids are in bed, and that's the reality that we live in now. I hope you all are well, but I'm going to dive right in here and show you how you should have translated these and hopefully clarify a few things, because there's two participle related concepts here that we're trying to learn, and they're both pretty different. So the first sentence here is the story is the subject. The story must be told or narrated by the servants. All right, so ND is the future passive participle, and the verb to be equals must be. All right, so the story must be narrated by the servants. Okay, you get the must be out of the fact that this participle is partnered with the verb to be, and in the present tense. Est is the present tense of the verb to be. We'll zoom in a little bit here. All right, so the story must be narrated by the servants. All right, a lot of you guys are doing well with the passive paraphrastic. It is pretty simple. The number two, the general or commander of Carthage. Now here you switch the tense to a rot, which is the imperfect tense of to be. And you have the same construction. You have the ND participle, the future passive participle, also known as the gerundive. The emperor of Carthage had to be expelled or had to be driven out. And you get the had to be because it's in the past. Must be is used for the present. Had to be is used for the past. By the Roman soldiers. By the Roman soldiers. All right, so the emperor of Carthage, and you got the genitive is here. The emperor of Carthage had to be expelled by the Roman soldiers. Now here, I started to mix in the ablative absolute, and a lot of you fell flat here. All right, so two words in the beginning of a sentence, usually in the beginning, they don't have to be, but for now, they will be. In the ablative, this O should look ablative. If I had put the long mark, it would probably be more obvious, but with the power, and then recepto is the participle where it's just the fourth principal part of the verb. If you had your vocab list up next to you, you could see that that's from one of the verbs in this chapter, to regain or receive. So with the power, and you get the with out of the ablative translation, with the power having been received, and that's how that participle translates as having been. That's the most common type of ablative absolute, where you just have the perfect participle, the fourth principal part of the verb, translating as having been, paired with like an ablative noun. So with the power, that's your ablative noun, having been received, the general or commander ruled again. All right, iterum was, I think, in this vocab, and rexit's from rego, to rule. The emperor ruled again. The number 4 also started with an ablative absolute. This time it features not the perfect participle, but the present participle. And you can see that with this NT. All right, NT, whoop, oh, didn't mean to do that. NT is from the present participle. So with the servants laughing. All right, with the servants laughing. And the NT always indicates like an ing translation. So with the servants laughing, And that's the difference between these two. All right. This is just the fourth principal part of the verb, which is the perfect participle. Having been. With the servants laughing, and then here is a passive periphrastic. They must be expelled from the house. They must be driven out from the house. And there's your must be. It's the present tense. Sunt is the present tense of to be. ND plus the verb to be normally is sunt, or normally is must be. So with the slaves laughing, they must be driven out from the house. All right, and then this last one also starts with an ablative absolute. Now here I put the long marks in. You should be able to, identify those as ablative endings. With the story of Carthage, all right, put Carthage here in the genitive case. With the story of Carthage having been told, all of the soldiers were laughing. And that's just regular Latin. There's no passive periphrastic there. So with the story of Carthage having been told, and narrata is from the fourth principal part of narrow, so it should translate as having been. With the story of Carthage having been told, all the soldiers were laughing. All right, and that's how these sentences should have gone. Okay, hope you all are well, and this should be published as an ed puzzle. There'll be some questions to answer, and see you next time. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and goodbye.